This reading is intended for mature audiences only. Thank you.
Hello, my friends. I am B, and this is B's Intuition. Today, we're going to do a spicy reading. We're going to do a spicy one today. So, this will be about who's having spicy thoughts about yous, and what are those spicy thoughts, perhaps, perchance. Anyways, let's just dive right in. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is having spicy thoughts about the collective during this time? And what are these spicy thoughts? Who are these peoples and what are their spicy thoughts about the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. My hair is absolutely insane today. So my hair usually looks so good on the first day like that I wash my hair. It usually styles itself kind of, and I don't have to do too much to make it look good. But unfortunately, today it just decided to not do what it usually does, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine, I guess. That's fine. Inside I'm crying. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Let's break out some things to weigh down the cards. Actually, let me see about that might be helpful right there. So what we have, the Tower card. So I actually had a feeling that the Tower card was going to pop out for some reason, or at least I was like picturing it in my mind before we started. Ace of Swords, the Knight of Swords, if I can hold the freaking card. So 10 of Wands, and then bottom of the deck, we got that 9 of Cups, baby. So I don't know why I'm getting randomly. I think it's Jason Derulo, where it's like, in my head, I see you all over me. In my head, you fulfill my fantasy. So you could literally be somebody's like ideal partner, spicily. Or the qualities that you have, they feel like you would make an ideal spicy partner. Okay, well then let's just dive right into the clarification. Starting with that Tower card. Please and thank you, Spirit. Can you clarify the Tower card for us? Who is this thinking spicy thoughts about the collective? And what are those spicy thoughts? What are those spicy thoughts, though? Who is this and what are they thinking? Ooh, what are they thinking? How naughty of them to have spicy thoughts of the collective. Ooh. Okay, that feels significant. Anything else for that Tower card, please and thank you, Spirit. You want to tell us any more about this person and what are they thinking? What are these spicy thoughts, though? Okay. Interesting. So, clarifying that Tower card, we have the Eight of Swords and the Hanged Man. This is interesting to me. It's interesting because like the Eight of Swords and the Hanged Man, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but they kind of have a similar energy to a degree, in my opinion. It's just like, well, not even that they necessarily have, how do I word that? One's more negative thinking and the other's more positive. So it's like a difference of mindsets, I feel, but they both kind of give the same energy. So the Tower card that we're clarifying, that is about something falling apart that was supposed to fall apart so that something better can be put in its place. But also, some people like to view the Tower card as a erect. How do I say this in a way that's going to be safe for YouTube? erect member. So that could definitely be something here. Somebody could be, well, they're definitely in their head about you. That's for sure with that Eight of Swords and the Hanged Man. So they probably are fantasizing about you very frequently. And they are stimulating themselves at the same time, if you get what I'm saying. And it's really interesting too that the Eight of Swords and the Hanged Man, there's binding in both of these images. So the Hanged Man is trapped in this trap by his foot, and from the looks of it, I would assume that his hands are tied behind his back because of the way that they're positioned. And then in the Eight of Swords, there's the blindfold and the binding, the bondage. This is somebody that probably likes BDSM. Also, when I bring these up, I am only ever talking about consensual interactions. I do not channel the non-consensual relations because that is just not what I'm intending this reading to be. So all of this is theoretically consensual. But they dream a lot about you and they fantasize a lot about you, and I think, oh, maybe that's what the Eight of Swords and the Hanged Man are also indicating is they would like to blindfold and tie you up for, spicy time. But with the Hanged Man, I'm also getting that maybe they sometimes like to switch back and forth, like who gets to tie up who. So maybe it's not simply just you being tied up, but also them being tied up sometimes, because they probably enjoy that. There's something about the Hanged Man that they would love for you to take control over them. So that definitely could be a fantasy here. There's something about like, they would be very happy if they knew that you were thinking about them too. I don't know why, but that's coming through. Well, because it almost even feels slightly obsessive, the amount of thoughts that they have about you. It may be quite overwhelming at times. Also, the Tower card can be a pretty tumultuous energy. And so I wonder if this person sees you as somebody that could rock their world. Like you have something that they would never be the same again after interacting with you in a spicy way. There also could be, because there's a lot of like being stuck in the head. There's that Tower card that we have. There could be something here about maybe they're not supposed to be thinking about you, and that kind of causes internal conflict for them. And if they were to entertain you in a spicy way, then that Tower card may happen as a result of that, meaning that maybe they're in a commitment. And if they were to engage with you, that would mean the end of that commitment that they may currently already have. So yeah, their life would not be the same again if they were to interact with you in the 3D in a spicy way here. This person also feels kind of adventurous when it comes to spicy things. I feel like they like to experiment. There's something about putting a lot of attention on you in these spicy interactions. I feel like they really want to focus on your own pleasure. They would like to make you feel good for sure. They feel like you would like, why do I get this feeling, although this person is really like dreaming up a lot of fantasies about you, I feel like this is somebody that may not have been given the opportunity to experiment spicily. But for some reason, they view you as being like a safe space to explore different things. There's something about how they feel around you that they feel safer, maybe opening up about certain fantasies, maybe different types of role play situations. Because there's something about how It's just you're so different, and they feel like these spicy interactions that they would have with you would be so different compared to other uh, interactions that they had spicily. So it almost feels like maybe if they are in a commitment at the moment, doesn't feel like they're super attached to that, or it's not fulfilling to them. And that's not to say, I'm not trying to encourage anybody to like go after somebody that's in a connection, but that's just what's coming through here. But also, there could be a shift in the way that they've been thinking about this. Maybe they thought that this could never happen, but it's like the more that they think about this, they may come around to the possibility that this could actually work out in real life, um, if they were to take the proper actions, of course. Yeah, there's something about you being very exciting to them. Like they feel like they could really explore a whole bunch of different fantasies with you. I feel like they haven't either been given the opportunity to explore those in the past, or maybe they felt too shy to bring them up to past partners. But they feel like for some reason with you, you would be more open minded and less judgmental, maybe. Maybe this is somebody that's experienced judgment for their fantasies and the things that they want to experiment with spicily. Also, bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands. Oh my. Uh, okay, I'm just gonna say it. This person, they're incredibly attracted to you, but like this seems slightly um like obsessive or like a lot. This could be somebody that is like addicted to spicy interactions. Yeah, they may have a sex addiction, is what I'm getting with that Eight of Wands. But also, the Eight of Wands is about forward movement and also the potential for desiring a conversation to take place between the two of you. So they may even like try to see if they have a way in with you because they've been thinking about you so much and they've been stimulating themselves to the thought of you, the thought of what could be possible. They may want to, yeah, they might want to see if this could go anywhere or if you're open to them coming in and the two of you exploring things spicily. But I hope that they would, be coming in single, so that nobody gets hurt in the background. There is one card that's like peeking out right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm curious what that is. I'm going to take it. Justice. Okay. Yeah, so I was right about the equal give and take. They probably would like to be tied up as well. um, but the truth coming to light is also part of the justice card. Maybe that's what they want to communicate here is the truth of how they have been thinking about you a lot in that way, or maybe that they have some sort of feelings for you, or they can't get you off their mind. And it really, like with that justice card, it feels very much like they would absolutely, they would never want it to be a non-consensual. They would 100% only ever want your enthusiastic yes. Because this is not somebody that's into non-consensual situations. I feel like this person is very much, they like to do what's right. So like they would not be into doing anything sketchy. They would want your like enthusiastic consent when it comes to interactions. So yeah, they feel like they, you know, that they're a responsible spicy lover. Yeah, communication would be a big thing too. They would want to communicate through the whole process to check in, to kind of like keep, you know, to either communicate, okay, does this feel good? Do you like this? Are you digging this? Should we try something else? They would like that sort of reassurance, but also when it comes to that enthusiastic consent, they're they may also be one of those people that's like, if it's not enthusiastically a yes, then it's a no. So like, even if you're like, oh, maybe, I guess, like we can, and it's like, no, they're not into that. They want somebody to be like, hell yes, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? They are very much big on consent, I feel, because they're very they might be quite balanced, or just very like just in what they do. You know, they don't want to ever do something that they know is bad, maybe, or wrong. It also feels like switch energy, you know, in the bedroom. They would want to you to be on top, but they would also like to be on top sometimes. Um, it almost feels like that could be a turn on for this person. The idea of that equal back and forth, like nobody feels left out, nobody feels forgotten in the exchange. Like we're both prioritizing each other's comfort and pleasure. Yeah. Okay, I want to see what's underneath that Eight of Wands. Two of Swords, another blindfold. They're into that. So I definitely saw them as wanting you to be blindfolded, but now that there's another card with a blindfold on, I think that they would like to be blindfolded as well. That could be fun for them. Maybe they haven't. I feel like, and I'm not exactly sure why I'm getting this, but it feels almost like they may have been able to like do the BDSM sort of thing of like tying up their partner, consensually, of course. Um, they may have been able to do it like on their partner, but maybe their partner or past partner wasn't as comfortable doing it on them. So they probably want somebody that would be more comfortable with being flexible like that. You know, that switch energy of like, I'll be on the top this time, and then the next time you'll be on top, or, you know, the next position. Um, yeah. And maybe even asking for that, you know, being tied up or blindfolded or something. They may be even slightly nervous to express that. And maybe they've never felt comfortable enough to express that they would like to be tied up as well. But tying up, blindfolding, that is something they are definitely into. But it's like you would be like a new land for them to explore, so to speak. You know, they just picture you as being like a lot of fun in that way. They feel like it would be, again, so different from what they've experienced before. And it may be like that they may usually be in relationships or connections with people that are more vanilla, and they want somebody that they feel like would be open to, you know, non-traditional, outside the box kind of interactions. And it feels like it's through their intuition that they feel like you would be receptive to that. So maybe it's the way that you express yourself, or the way you behave in general. kind of gives this safe space vibe when it comes to spicy interactions. They feel like they would be safe asking you, like, hey, would you be into this? Like, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't believe you would even suggest a blindfold, whatever. Because maybe they've experienced a lot of judgment in the past, and or they feared judgment, and so they never felt comfortable enough to open up to other people about what they really want, um, or the fact that they would like to receive in certain ways as well. But it definitely feels like there is this sense of balancing. They also may be kind of stuck in their head about whether or not they should communicate to you, because I feel like, especially with all of this spicy, it feels like a sexual tension. I'm gonna try and say the spicy words a little bit lower so that maybe YouTube doesn't pick up on them. But it almost feels like they could be afraid of contacting you or having a conversation with you because they're so attracted to you. It could be literally like physically. They don't know how they would be able to communicate without getting turned on, I want to say, because they really dig you. They really think a lot about what could happen between the two of you. And I almost feel like if they're around you and they start to talk about either that you've been on their mind a lot, or they have certain fantasies about you, yeah, if they were to bring this up to you in real life, it feels like they may um they may be nervous about how their body would respond to talking about these kinds of things. I feel like I'm going to just see what's under the Two of Swords out of curiosity. Nine of Wands. Interesting. Wow, that's interesting. With that Nine of Wands, I'm getting from their perspective, either I can't tell if it's your energy or their energy. To some extent, I feel like this is how they perceive you to be, which is you may be very closed off to be spicy with other people. And it feels like maybe because you've had trauma, I hate to say. Um, but at least this person's conscious, or they feel like that may be why you're a little bit guarded when it comes to them, or in general, maybe you don't really um, engage in spicy activities very often, and you may have your guard up around people that want that from you because of maybe past traumas. That's what they're maybe assuming about you, or they're kind of thinking that's probably why you're closed off to spicy times with people, is that you've had some sort of trauma and that's left a lasting impact. But it feels like they would like to help you to feel more safe so that you can lower that wall and have a positive experience with them. And then on the other hand, they could themselves have spicy trauma that makes them a little bit afraid of spicy interactions, um, or have their wall up when it comes to exploring things spicily. But it also could be, again, going back to that message of judgment. They may feel like most of the time they've been judged for the type of preferences they have behind closed doors, or they feared that so much that they just haven't been able to open up that part of themselves. And so they feel like maybe this would be a good safe space or environment for them to explore those a little bit deeper, or actually, explore them if they never got the chance to in the past. But Nine of Wands, they are very attracted to you. They may even fear that this kind of spicy, like their spicy feelings may not be reciprocated by you. And that could be a fear of theirs, or like that could be a reality depending on who you are and who this person is. Because maybe that's something too, is like they're worried that they may not be attractive enough for you. And this is regardless of how they actually look, because we all have our insecurities, right? Sometimes we're, our worst judges when it comes to really anything, especially when it comes to spicy things, I would feel, because it's so vulnerable, right? Like that's one of the most vulnerable moments you can have with another person. But it feels like, again, they can't stop fantasizing about you. They can't stop thinking about all the possibilities here and how much fun it would be. And again, you would be different from their past. Whatever their past was or past experiences were, they feel like you would be more receptive, more open, more experimental, more fun, honestly. Maybe they really did have past partners that weren't that fun, under the sheets. And so they may have been really bored. And for some reason, and maybe, I hate to say this because this is such a weird energy, but like, and I'm not like encouraging anybody to, cheat or be the person that somebody's cheating with. But if this person is currently connected with somebody else, they could use the thought of you and the possibilities that they think could be possible with you. They could use that in order to, to get off with their current partner. And I hate to say that because that sounds really, ugh, I don't know, I feel about that. But again, it may just be in their head for now. The Eight of Wands could indicate that they might want to come forward to express themselves, but that may also just be another fantasy at the same time, because this is somebody that's very much in their mind fantasizing about you, maybe slightly obsessively, and they may have some sort of spicy addiction. I'll say that. Okay, let's go on to the Ace of Swords. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this, and what are their spicy thoughts about the collective with that Ace of Swords? Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this that is having spicy thoughts about the collective with the Ace of Swords? Who is this, and what are they thinking? What are their spicy fantasies about the collective? What are those spicy fantasies? Let's see. What is this? Oh. So, Ace of Swords clarified by Page of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, the Wind. It is very powerful today. Anyways, the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Wands. Okay. So this is another person that's been having a lot of like fantasies about you. They're very attracted to you, but it's something more than that. There's something about who you are and maybe how your mind works. Yeah. It could be like that they're not just attracted to you physically, but they're also attracted to your mind or the way that you think or your creativity or your ideas. And so this could be somebody that could view you again as somebody that's very open-minded when it comes to spicy interactions. Also, the Ace of Swords could be indicating that this is somebody, again, that would like to express the thoughts that they've been having about you. With that Page of Wands, this could be somebody new that you've never been with or never thought about in that way. But they definitely think about you in that way. They like your body, especially if you have any curves. They like that. It's kind of interesting because it's almost like, what would the collective think about, or what would the collective feel about me coming towards them in the hopes of interacting spicily? They may, and this is such a strange message. I've never really gotten this before, I don't think, but they may be like, oh, they may be younger than you. That could be something here, because it's almost like they're a little bit insecure, I think, and they're more worried about like what you think about them, maybe in terms of spicy experiences, or like the potential for spicy experiences between the two of you. And specifically, if this is a, somebody that has a certain type of member, they may think that theirs is too small, or like they may worry about the size of it, even if it's not too small, even if it's perfectly average, or perfectly pleasant. They may be a little bit insecure about that, and they would be maybe like really nervous, and they may kind of overthink, like, oh, but do they like me, or do they find me attractive, or would they laugh at my member? It's kind of interesting here. But at the same time, they feel like it would be really exciting, and there would be like a thrill to it if they were to engage with you in a spicy way, if that was a possibility here. With the Knight of Pentacles, I actually really like this energy, because this is somebody that wants to take their time with you. You know what I'm saying? They're not in a rush to get it done and over with. They want to savor that moment completely. And they definitely are going to put in the work to make sure you are satisfied. That's for sure and certain. Yeah. Again, there's something about how your body looks, especially if you have curves. And people of all shapes and sizes can have curves. They love the way your body looks. They love those curves. I'm just saying. Woo. So there's even maybe a physical component, in terms of like, they may want to like caress you, and like it feels like more so like making love. It doesn't feel like a quickie, or a one night stand, or something that's like super short and temporary. They want to really, again, savor it. They want to feel every inch of you, is what I feel. They'd like to explore every part of you, what, and figure out maybe through that process what makes you tick. What do you like? What do you not like? What are your sensitive spots? What are other parts that are maybe not as sensitive, because everybody's different. Everybody has different sensitivities on their body, but they would definitely love to have the time to just explore your body, and they would do their very best to make it a pleasurable experience for you. I feel like they would definitely be prioritizing your pleasure, maybe even over themselves. There's a very unselfish energy I get from this person. They've probably thought about you quite a few times, and there's lightning on the Tower card and the Ace of Swords, and so that makes me think that there's something about blowing one's mind. Again, they feel like you could blow their mind, or like if they're not super experienced, they feel like you would like rock their world, and maybe that's another insecurity, especially if they're younger than you. They may feel like, well, geez, like, what if they've had so many partners that I'm like really bad compared to everyone else, or I'm not as experienced, so I don't know exactly what to do, or they may kind of second guess themselves and feel a little bit insecure if they're younger than you, and maybe they feel like they would be less experienced, and so they would probably be worried about that. It feels like they could definitely be a worrier when it comes to spicy interactions, but I wonder if you would be the type of person that would be understanding of that at the same time, especially if you think, they may not be as experienced as you, and you're like, okay, that's fine. And like, we can just, go through the steps and check in with each other, have that clear communication during these moments and really figure out what each other likes. Yeah, it feels like either they are younger than you, or maybe they just don't have as much experience as you do, or they just assume that, because that could also just be an assumption based on maybe your appearance, if you're attractive, or if you seem to be well liked. They could be like, oh yeah, they probably have been with so many people, and here I am, barely slept with anyone, and I don't really know what I'm doing. But I feel like you could have the energy of maybe being very receptive of that and not judgmental. You could be the kind of person that would talk somebody through those moments, so that the communication is clear back and forth, there's no gray areas, and they can learn what you like and what makes you tick. They definitely want to give you pleasure. I feel like if they felt like you were not receiving pleasure from them, they would be very embarrassed. They may even feel like a failure if you're not having a good time. Sorry, there's a fly that keeps flying around the camera. Sorry if you can see that. But ooh, somebody wishes they could be a fly on the wall. And I mean that, oh, they want to know if you think about them too in that kind of way. Or they kind of want to see what you look like when you're stimulating yourself, even if it's not to the idea of them. Because it may be somebody that you don't know yet too, because like the page could be like a newer person. But they would love to be a fly on the wall to see how you stimulate yourself and how you create pleasure for yourself on a solo basis, I guess. When you're alone, that's what I'm trying to say. The Seven of Wands, that screams effort to me. Like, this is somebody that may be extremely attracted to you for sure, but they are gonna fight to be the best lover they can be. It's kind of a sweet energy just because they're so thoughtful of like your pleasure, and they're really like, they're putting emphasis on your pleasure here. Like, they would do anything, whatever it takes to not only they would do whatever it takes to get with you in a spicy way, but they also would do whatever it takes in order for you to have the best time possible for yourself. They would do whatever it takes in order for you to reach your climax. But at the same time, I don't know if there would be pressure there, because they are kind of insecure. I don't know if they would be pressuring you to climax necessarily, but they would love to feel like they gave you that amount of pleasure. The Seven of Wands, I just got the message of like, they would go, this person definitely might have a higher sex drive, because they said that they would go time after time after time. If how they would literally go for as long as they could humanly or just possibly go. Like, they would go again and again and again and again. If that's what you want and that's what it takes for you to reach your moment, they're like, yeah, let's just keep at it, like. So this is somebody that might be able to go multiple times in a row. If that's something that you haven't experienced before, this could be that kind of person. And partially, I feel like it's probably because they find you so damn attractive that they're like, hell yeah. If I get to have more than one experience with this person, that's what I want. So maybe they even fantasize about going time after time after time, because it feels like they put such an emphasis on your pleasure, and that's like what they would be prioritizing. it wouldn't even be too much about themselves. They give a very selfless energy when it comes to spicy interactions. Interesting. They also don't mind taking the lead or taking control, if that's what you're into, which is a little bit surprising because we have that Page of Wands energy. So even if this person's younger than you or less experienced than you, they're not afraid to step up if they need to, in terms of like, if you like confident people and that's what you're attracted to, they would definitely try to come across in that confident go-getter attitude. Yeah, it feels like they're not afraid of taking the lead if they need to. They're not afraid of being the one that opens the conversation for spicy things, or may kind of see if you're in the mood for something spicy. Like, this person may be surprisingly, it almost feels like, they may even be kind of unassuming on the surface, like when you see this person, because maybe they're younger or maybe they are less experienced or maybe a little bit shy outside of the bedroom. But I feel like behind closed doors, they may kind of turn into like whatever you need them to be, is what I'm hearing. So like, if you're into them taking control, they're like, hell yeah. And if you're into you taking control, they're like, hell yeah. Whatever helps you, whatever you like. Yeah. Damn. Let's see what's underneath that Seven of Wands. Two of Pentacles. So there's like these waves in the background, and that kind of reminds me of like maybe hedging a little bit. This person may kind of practice that in order to be able to extend the spicy time interaction. They may kind of practice to try and extend that when it comes to interacting with you, because they wouldn't want to be like somebody that just like, two pump chump, if that's what it's called, that saying. They definitely would not want to be somebody like that. They would want to be able to go for a longer period of time, but maybe they worry about not being able to go for a longer period of time. And to an extent, and almost, oh, I just got another message with that Two of Pentacles, is if you got a nice chest, they would like to be caressing that, no matter what your gender. People can caress a man's chest too. But either or, especially if you're like very curvaceous. Okay, buddy, shoot, these flies driving me crazy, all up in my business. But yeah, they would like to feel ya. Feel ya all around. But it almost feels like maybe at times they may get a little too in their head during the interactions, either thinking about like, okay, how can I prolong my time before I, or they may kind of be in their head about like, am I doing the right position? Does this feel good? Like, they may kind of overthink in the moment a little bit because they want to impress you so badly. They want you to enjoy yourself so badly that they may kind of get a little bit like wrapped up in their head a little bit. And they may kind of give that sense of like uncertainty, which would maybe come out in the form of like, they keep kind of checking in with you, like, is it, do you like this? Is this good? What do you like with this? Or do you not like this? They probably would like to keep checking in with you to make sure that they're on the right track, you're enjoying what they're doing. Yeah, this is another person that really enjoys enthusiastic consent, not just like, I guess. No, they want you to be like, hell yeah. Yeah, their biggest fear may be that they are worried that they may climax too soon. And it's probably because they think you're so attractive. They're like, well, damn, if I were to interact with the collective, I probably would climax very soon because they're so freaking hot. I'm gonna just see what's underneath that Two of Pentacles out of curiosity. Ace of Swords. That's interesting because we are clarifying the Ace of Swords. So double confirmation for Ace of Swords, which may be that this person would like to at least have a conversation with you. It doesn't have to be spicy related, but it could be, because it could be something about how you're on their mind, or they've had ideas or thoughts about you. It could take a spicy turn, but the conversation doesn't have to outrightly, right off the bat, doesn't have to be spicy. But they really do dig you. There's just like this recurring message about your curves. The curves of your body, even if you're not a feminine, you can be, and it's like that song, where it's like, it's cuffing season and all the girls are leaving to get a big boy. I need a big boy. Give me. So like, feminines can enjoy, or whoever you're attracted to as a masculine, they can enjoy those curves too. They may like that chunka bella, a little bit of extra cushion. They may be into that, regardless of what you identify as. Also, in getting your thick in all the right places. Well, if you are masculine and you have a member, that might apply. I'm just saying. There is something about them not being too afraid of taking the lead. I feel like they would just be worried that you would reject them or you wouldn't be into it. That would probably be their worst fear. But it's almost like they're not that afraid of engaging or like starting it, or what's the word? Bringing it up as a possibility. Interesting. There was a pink thing that just flew and landed on my card and then it bounced away. Oh, there it is. It's like pinky orangey. I have no idea what it is. I think it flies though. Or at least it bounces. Anyways. Okay, I think that's it for that one. Let's go into the Knight of Swords. See what that's all about. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this? And what are their spicy thoughts about the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this, and what are their spicy thoughts about the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you with that Knight of Swords. Okay, well, that came out kind of chaotically. I'm going to take those cards because I feel like that was probably intentional. The way that it came out too was very bizarre in the way of like, I don't know. The way that it came out like that kind of is interesting to me because it almost even gave a finish. How do I word that? Gave a climaxy kind of energy, the way that all the cards popped out like that. And this might actually be somebody that could be a two pump jump. I'm just saying, because the Knight of Swords. So this is a fast moving energy. So this person might actually be so excited to engage with you in a spicy way that they may jump the gun a little bit, might get a little too excited. They also may have a lot of fantasies about you because a lot came out for this person. Yeah, I guess let's just dive right into it, see what these are. So, interesting. yeah, I'll just show you the cards that came out to clarify the Knight of Swords. We have the High Priestess in the reverse, the Sun card in the reverse, Six of Swords in the reverse, and then we have Nine of Wands upright, Eight of Cups upright, King of Wands upright, and then we have the Devil, Three of Cups, Ace of Cups, the Fool card, Six of Cups, Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, Two of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Two of Swords. Actually, I did see this lift up, and I think it's the Nine of Cups underneath. Yeah, so that's also applicable. Interesting. The High Priestess in the reverse. This could be somebody that's not super tapped into their intuition. Oh no. Is that the message, Spirit? I feel like maybe this is a possibility that, oh, this gives BDE energy, if you know what I'm saying, but in the worst way possible. So I don't know about y'all, but in my personal experience, when somebody has a larger member, perhaps, I've noticed that they get so cocky, no pun intended, but they get so full of themselves because of that one part of themselves that they turn out to be very selfish lovers. That's just my experience and opinion. Because, you know, they've been told for every experience they had, well, you're so being. And so they kind of assume, you know, what will feel best for you without kind of checking in with you. You know, it's almost like, well, this turned on all of my exes. This will probably work for you too, without that communication, though. And they may think they have an intuition when it comes to spicy interactions, but with the High Priestess in the reverse, I feel like they are way off. Yeah, this feels like they think they know what they're doing, but it's like, even if it worked on a bunch of other people, you're your own person, you know? What works for other people may not necessarily work for you. But this may be somebody that's a little bit arrogant and may not quite realize that or accept that as a possibility. The Sun card in the reverse. So yeah, they may be a little bit full of themselves. And that would also make sense why they're showing up in that Knight of Swords energy. They may kind of think with their member. I'm just saying. Oh my. I'm getting some crazy messages from this one. The Sun card in the reverse is giving me that they think that they are God's gift to mankind. Oh my God. This is definitely a player. I'm just going to say that's so, to be so transparent, to be so real with you. This is probably somebody that's been with a lot of people and all they ever have heard is good things. And so now they are arrogant and they're like, no, babe, I know what you'll like. And it's like, no, that's not at all what I like. Oh, geez. Oh, it's arrogant and pompous. It's kind of gross, not gonna lie. I'm just gonna say, this might have been somebody that has been lied to in terms of spicy interactions of their past. I think that they've had exes or ex-spicy partners who have only ever told them good things, who may even have faked climaxing. but yet they may have said, oh yeah, I definitely did, yeah, maybe just to get it over with. I'm just saying. It's not looking good for this person. I'm so sorry that I had to read this person to filth, but I want to be so transparent. They may have been lied to from their past partners, where they're like, oh yeah, I climax so hard. And they're just like, no, I didn't. But I'm going to lie to this person to make sure to get it over with. Oh my God. I feel so bad for this person's past partners, because they may even have a reputation of having a big member or having a high sex drive, or a reputation for pleasing people, but I don't think they're that good. I don't think they are. I don't think they're as good as they think they are. That's really embarrassing for them. Okay. But it also feels like somebody that's never been honest with this person. I think maybe the flies are dying, and that's why they keep clinging to random surfaces, because of the change of seasons. No offense, little guy. He's staying strong. He's resilient. Anyways, and then the Six of Swords in the reverse with this context. So the Six of Swords upright is like moving towards calmer waters, or moving more towards something more positive compared to your past. In the reverse, though, this one you actually might even have been with, but they probably were not very good. This is interesting. So this might actually be somebody that you have experienced in the past in a spicy way, potentially, but it was not good. And so now you're just like, oh, hell no, I am not gonna be receptive to this person whatsoever. Because it feels like somebody that just has a big member, and they think, oh yeah, that will make up for me being a selfish lover. That will make up for me not turning on my partner whatsoever. That will make up for us not doing foreplay. Interesting. Yeah, the Six of Swords in the reverse could definitely be an indication that they don't want you to move on from them, if this is some lover that you have had in your past. It feels misdirected. Like their energy and their focus is like focused on all the wrong things. They may also be superficially attractive, and that could be a whole nother thing too, is like, well, I'm attractive. Everybody's already told me I'm attractive, so that means I'm naturally just really good at spicy time. And it's like, no, that's not true. That definitely does not have to be the truth. And it probably isn't in this case. I'm just saying. Oh, gee whiz. I really kind of hope this isn't somebody from your past, because after that Six of Swords in reverse, we have that Nine of Wands upright. And earlier I was getting something with previous trauma in the spicy department. And I really hope that that spicy trauma wasn't caused by this person in particular, but that is a possibility, I have to say. And therefore you have your guard up around this person, and you're like, hell no, I'm not letting that person in. I know what they're about. Feels like you've been there, done that with the Eight of Cups. I mean, at the best or worst, no, at the best, maybe you just were not very happy with how they did their thing, so maybe it was just really unfulfilling for you, because maybe that's just what it is. It almost even feels like you got so frustrated with them not being able to make you climax that you're just like F it. I'm going to go do it myself. Oh, gee whiz. Yeah. You could have been like, okay, I'm just going to go home and fix this out, like sort this out on my own. But it also could be that maybe this was an ex of yours and you left them behind, or maybe this was a friends with benefits sort of situation in your past and you left this person behind. It definitely feels like you left this person behind, but they don't want you to go away, or they don't want you to leave their life forever. But it may be completely with selfish intentions that they're hoping for that. The King of Wands upright. So I think I would have expected it to come out in the reverse, maybe, if this was somebody that was a selfish lover. Because the King of Wands is quite confident. And in the upright, it's more of the non-shadow aspects. If it came out in the reverse, I may look more into it as like the shadowy parts. But if they're coming in as that Knight of Swords, this could be somebody else, though. Because I'm like, I don't know if this matches with the energy I was just reading. Because this might actually be somebody that actually is good at what they do between the sheets, behind closed doors. They're like, I know what I'm doing. You know, King of Wands also probably would be somebody that's very good with communication. But on the other hand, it could be somebody that may be so confident that they're arrogant, and maybe they think of themselves as the good person or the good guy, or, you know, somebody that's not a selfish lover, but in reality they might actually be a selfish lover. Also, the King of Wands is known as being very attractive. That kind of goes back to what I was saying before, is like maybe this is an attractive person who's never really been told the truth that looks aren't everything. The size of your member isn't everything. Like there needs to be more. There needs to be something of substance beneath all of that. Okay, so maybe it's kind of, it could be that on the surface they're this King of Wands, and so they're like attractive, they have that BDE, and maybe it's like you assume they would be a good lover, but until you experience it and you're like, oh, this is really falling flat, this isn't really doing much for me. And it almost feels like disappointment, maybe, because they talk a big game, but then when it comes down to it, they just like leave you unimpressed. So it is possible, but it also could be another person, and maybe that's kind of causing competition with this person, because maybe you actually have somebody that is a decent lover, and then maybe that is what makes this Knight of Swords energy come in all of a sudden, because maybe they're competitive, or they like see that person as competition or a threat to wanting you. They don't want anybody else to have you, potentially. And then the Devil card. So yeah, maybe it is that King of Wands could be this person's energy, and maybe they are just like, they definitely could be a sex addict. That could be an addiction for them for sure. I don't know why, but the Devil card is giving me like they can't keep it in their pants, which makes me think that everybody turns them on. Ugh. Well, no offense to anybody that's like turned on by everyone, but feels weird. They may just like want to F everyone, have spicy time with everyone, which would probably go back to the idea of having a sex addiction. Also, they're too ruled by the ego, I feel like, to be a satisfying partner. It's like they think that they know what they're doing, and so therefore they never check in with you. They think that, one size fits all, so to speak, in terms of like, oh, well, this worked with my ex, so that means that, you know, the collective should love this without, checking in with you, without, learning what you like in particular. There is like this sense of arrogance in the ego for sure. So yeah, maybe they're just like very attractive and they seem like they would be a good fit on the outside, but then it's like you get closer and you see all of their flaws and the ways in which they're selfish in terms of spicy time. Three of Cups, you may know this person through your community, but also that Three of Cups could be indicating third party kind of stuff. So this may be somebody that doesn't even stay loyal to people that they go into connections with. Actually, it's interesting how that Three of Cups comes first and then it's the Ace of Cups. It almost feels like maybe they have like a rotation of options, like a list of people they can call if they want to do it. But maybe they're bored of all of their options or all of the people that they have already been with. And if this is a new thing, they may want to be with you just because you're different, or they haven't been with you, so they just want to see what it's like. This person's more about the show than they are about the authenticity. And I don't know exactly how to word that in a way that's, safe for YouTube. But because I'm getting specifically a very specific image in mind. Well, let me put it this way. When it comes to feminine people and under the right conditions, they may outwardly explode, so to speak. And I feel like they probably prioritize that, like seeing a payoff or hearing that they had that payoff or something, that reassurance of a payoff, rather than actually giving you pleasure, if that makes any sense. Like it's more about the show than whether or not you're truly enjoying the moment. It feels selfish. It just feels like, okay, they want what they want, but it doesn't feel like they're really considering you that much. And I think maybe this is just who they are as a person. This is like they're just a very selfish lover and they've always been this way. And so they probably feel like they can just keep on doing that because nobody's ever really, I guess told them the truth. The Fool card. So they definitely, maybe this is somebody newer. This may not be an ex or somebody that you've experienced before, because there is this feeling of like they want to try you, which is that already as a sentence is just like, okay, gross. But it's almost like they want to try you because they've never tried you before. So it's like they want to see what it's like, but not really with any genuine intention of connection, which I feel like is part of what makes spicy time fun, right? Is like not just the physical stuff, but having that connection with another person that's very like intimate and, special. But it feels more so like because it's somewhere that they've never been before, they kind of just want to see what it's like. And it may not be that they have any idea or any intentions for anything long term or anything that's very serious at all. Also, I find it very funny that the Fool card came out for this person because they kind of are a fool in the way of like how they go about their spicy time, like being a selfish lover and all that. And then after that Fool card, there is the Six of Cups. They may have missed their opportunity before with you in the past, and so they want to like make up for lost time, or it almost even feels like this could be somebody that's very emotionally unavailable, but they almost feel like if they were to hook up with you for some reason, somehow miraculously you would make them be able to have feelings and something more serious or long term. But the thing is, I don't think that that's who this person is in terms of how they live their life, you know? And so I don't know how accurate that would be. Because it's almost like they feel like you would open up their heart, and maybe they don't really open up their heart very frequently, but it's like you somehow, they kind of idolize you. And it kind of, yeah, and it kind of goes back to that idea of like they just haven't gotten a taste, or they haven't had an opportunity yet, and so that's all they can think about is like having an opportunity with you so that they can see what it's like. And they're kind of maybe putting you on a pedestal, so to speak, because, well, you know, if they're attractive, if they have that big member energy, they may be overly confident, and maybe that's a turnoff for you, because it almost feels like because you don't just fall into their arms like everybody else, they kind of idolize that more, or they like see that as more more desirable. It makes you more desirable if you don't want them, which I feel like is kind of sad, because that's kind of like an indication that this person's probably really insecure. But the Wheel of Fortune comes out after that, and that kind of goes with what I was saying, is like they may have felt like they missed an opportunity here, like wrong time. Um, like the timing might have been off, or they felt like they missed their opportunity to see what this would be like with you. Yeah, so maybe it could even be something like you knew this person from your further past. You know, maybe this isn't even somebody that you've known recently, but maybe somebody from your faraway past that they've always kind of wanted to see, like, what that would be like with you, but maybe they never got the opportunity to explore that with you. And so therefore they're kind of obsessing over it, and they're like, what could have been, what if, you know? There feels like a like an over, how do I word this, it's like they're overly focused on their own member and their own pleasure. I don't know why. It feels like just like a continuation of like selfishness. They're only really considering of like what it would feel like for them. Um, you know, how would this benefit them? How fun would it be for them? They're not really considering you a lot in this. Then with that Two of Pentacles, they may kind of like, it's like giving shiny toy syndrome. Is that what it's called? Where it's like whatever's the new thing or the new person or like the new experience, that's what they go for. They may get very bored very easily, and they're kind of just always on the hunt, you know, for someone. And they may kind of go back and forth with you, where it's like if you're out of their sight for like more than 2 minutes, I guess, they might kind of forget that they have these kinds of desires for you. But then it's like they'll see you, and then they're like, oh, that person's so hot, I really want to, you know, be with them in a spicy way. They kind of go back and forth is what I feel, and that kind of also speaks more deeply to who this person is, I feel, because they really don't know what they want. I think at the end of the day, I think they know what they want, but I don't know if it's really what they want. Feels like it's more ego based. And yeah, because it feels like maybe even the reason that they do spicy time so frequently or with a bunch of different people is because maybe they are that insecure that they need other people's validation for their own sense of confidence or for them to have any sense of self-worth, which is really sad. Two of Swords. This could be another person that likes, the blindfolds, the bondage sort of thing. That could definitely be a thing here. They also may view you as being very closed off to them, and they're not used to that, and that kind of makes you more exciting. And that could also be like very unfamiliar territory for them. Is like they've never been turned down before, or they've never felt unwanted in that way before. And so when it comes to you being guarded with them, they may think that's hot. Okay. But again, doesn't that just show like how insecure they are? Is like they want somebody that doesn't even want them, or somebody that they perceive to not want them. And that I feel like is just like, because typically we go after emotionally unavailable people because we ourselves are emotionally unavailable. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a reflection on how they feel about themselves. Like they don't want people that actually want them. They want the person that doesn't want them, so that they never have to be really authentic or really vulnerable or something, like to protect themselves from pain or something. But yeah, you're not like everybody else is what I feel like. And that's very rare and strange to them, but it's a turn on for some reason. Let's see what's underneath that Two of Swords. Oh yeah, the Nine of Cups. So it's like they kind of make you out to be like the perfect person in their mind, but it's like, I don't know how much that is tapped into reality. And again, if you don't want to be with this person, they may be kind of delusional, thinking like, oh yeah, I can totally win them over eventually. They just gotta fall in love with me over time. They could be one of those people that's like just so confident or, conceited in themselves that they're just like, yeah, they'll want me eventually because I'm just so darn hot and, I got a big, you know what. They also may fantasize about you a lot, but it's almost like there's maybe a slightly more romantic spin. But again, I don't, it's so weird because it's almost like they see you not only spicily fulfilling them, but also in terms of romance potentially. But again, it's because you don't show interest in them, and that's like a huge turn on, or that's what makes them fantasize about you. That's what makes you so intriguing, and maybe that makes you their soulmate in some way, which is just like, again, that's kind of sad. Like if they want to go for somebody that doesn't even want them, I don't know. And also there is like this contentment, like this self-contentment that they have where it's like, and it almost feels like they have like this whole past history of, people saying, oh, you're so good, oh yeah, I totally climaxed. And it's like people lying to them. They gain this reputation for being an amazing lover, and it's like, but are they though? I'm just learning. Because it feels like they're kind of like unrealistically confident, and I don't know how accurate it is, or how deserved it is. Let's see what's underneath that Nine of Cups. Ace of Wands. They can't fool themselves. They know that they just want spicy time with you. But you turn them on. They have all these fantasies. They want to make these fantasies a reality. And since we clarified the Knight of Swords with all these cards, it could be possible that this person will try to kind of like come in all of a sudden to try and get your attention, start a conversation, hoping that it goes somewhere. But again, I don't know. I just feel like you're not really interested in this person. They like that about you, but I feel like that's probably just because they're insecure. I don't know. They need to heal, I think. Let's go on to the 10 of Wands now, please, and thank you, Spirit. I always like never anticipate these to go so long, but they just are so juicy. I like all the details. Give me those details. Who is this? Who is this having spicy thoughts about the collective, and what are they thinking? Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this, and what are they fantasizing about when it comes to the collective? Yeah, the sun's starting to set, so I gotta try my best to hurry this up. Okay, what else for that 10 of Wands, please and thank you, Spirit? So, 10 of Wands clarified by 3 of Swords, Knight of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the 4 of Wands. So this is somebody who has a lot on their mind, a lot on their... They may be like overstressed, overworked, have a lot of distractions going on right now in their life. A lot of messiness and conflict even. They kind of feel like a little bit of a mess, not gonna lie. And maybe it's because of some sort of heartbreak they either recently went through, or that could be a part of it, is like them going through a lot of pain, whether that be heartbreak or maybe multiple experiences through their life. But in terms of fantasies with that 3 of Swords, okay. I mean, they may want you to hurt them. Maybe they're like a, what is it called, masochist? They may be into that. They may want you to rough them up a little bit. But maybe that's just because they're kind of in like a very sporadic, sort of scattered sort of energy is what I'm feeling. And so maybe they don't even necessarily know exactly what they want with you. But there's something here about, oh, it hurts so good. Okay. Either this is a role play idea or maybe a real thing where it's like maybe a fantasy that they might want to explore with you is like the third party, you know, so to speak, or, you know, oh, we shouldn't be doing this. So that either it's a role play fantasy that they have with you where it's like taboo in some way, or maybe they literally have a partner and they're like, they want to break that partner's heart, I guess. Maybe because their partner mistreated them. I don't know. But it's almost like they're excited for pain. I don't know why. There may have been heartbreak between the two of you, but they may kind of obsessively think about you, and maybe if there was heartbreak between the two of you, they may think about that a lot. Knight of Wands. One of their fantasies is coming in towards you to do spicy things. Like, let's bring this baby down into reality. Let's explore the spicy side of our connection. You want a piece of this, baby? But, you know, the Knight of Wands does have that temporary sort of energy. So it wouldn't be probably... It's interesting because we have the Knight of Wands and then we have the Four of Wands. And I feel like those are two separate or different energies, because it's like the Knight of Wands doesn't really want anything long term, but the Four of Wands does. But the Four of Wands could also be indicating maybe a goal. And so maybe this is somebody that sees you as more so a notch in their bedpost, so to speak. They may want to get with you simply to say that they did. Yeah, they could see you as more of like a conquest than a person. I'm just saying. And it's probably because they're kind of like, their life is a mess. They probably don't really have anything super stable to offer you long term. Like, it doesn't feel like this is somebody that's necessarily in the right space for this to be romantic in any way. it probably would be more of like a one night stand or a hookup or maybe friends with benefits, nothing too serious. Um, because it feels like they're kind of a mess, their life's kind of a mess. They may be currently healing from something from the past. And so they may not have a lot of security or stability to offer you or to build with you, but they may want the experience of being with you in a spicy way. Yeah. There could be a little bit of a shadow part to this person in terms of if you broke their heart in the past, they kind of may want to do that to you, especially if they're not in a very serious energy. They may try to like lead you on to think, oh yeah, like we can totally be together. But then it's like the reality is like, no, we can't. Or I know that I, you know, am not in the kind of mental space or in the place right now to offer anything long term. But maybe they kind of want to get your hopes up so that they can destroy those hopes. I'm not really sure because they are in a very chaotic kind of energy right now. So they probably have a bunch of different thoughts and a bunch of like different ideas, and who knows how that would even play out in real life, or even if it does come out in the 3D, because they may just simply stay stuck in their head and not really actually do anything. Um, and maybe never express this to you, but maybe it's a fantasy to break your heart. I don't know about that. Because for once, this might have been a past person, maybe somebody that you did have a union with. And so maybe they felt heartbroken after that ended, and they may want to do that heartbreak into you. Let's see what's underneath that Four of Wands. Three of Wands. They're waiting for the proper moment, or they want something spur of the moment. They could be fantasizing about doing something spur of the moment. And that kind of makes sense with that Knight of Wands, I would say. They kind of want to just come in and out like very quickly, nothing too long term. They may kind of be fantasizing about just like a spur of the moment, passionate exchange. Um, let's see what's underneath that Three of Wands. Seven of Swords. Okay, so that was the underlying energy I kind of felt was like, this person doesn't feel super trustworthy. Seven of Swords. So yeah, they probably aren't very trustworthy. They probably have something up their sleeve. Well, let's hope not. I heard STD, so be careful. Be careful. Just use protection, y'all, if you're going to engage with somebody that's sketchy. Yeah, this is the kind of person that would like to lie to you. They may even think you're gullible. Yeah, there's something about them. I wouldn't trust this one. This one does not feel good to me because it feels almost like they either have a hidden agenda of like, I'm going to get back at you for breaking my heart, or I'm going to hide something that may be very important to know, whether that's a STD, or the fact that they're sleeping with everyone else in their mama as well as you. I think that they have something to hide here, and it's probably nothing good. So I would just be aware of that player like energy coming in towards you just for a short time, not a long time, especially if you have a past with them that didn't end up the greatest. I would just be aware of that. So Nine of Cups at the bottom of this deck. So I do think that a lot of people probably see you as like their fantasy, their wish fulfillment, like the ideal partner to have spicy time with. You probably check all the boxes for a lot of people. I want to see what's underneath that Nine of Cups. Knight of Pentacles. So we did see the Knight of Pentacles earlier with the Ace of Swords.
So my phone died at that moment because I'm a yapper. I'm sorry. I don't know when to stop talking. But anyways, I kept the cards in the same order that they were. And looking at the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, this probably relates to that person that wants to take their time, slow but steady. And so I feel like there's a pretty good chance that this person specifically wants to make their presence known. Maybe not all at once, but little by little, they kind of want to maybe see if you can open up to them. Oh, underneath that is the devil card. um, ooh. So they might actually be obsessing a little bit about you. And maybe the thoughts that they're having about you. Let's see what's underneath that devil card. Four of Swords. Oh. uh, you may be in this person's dreams. You may be showing up in this person's dreams and they can't get over how freaking fine you are. Wow. Yeah, this person actually might. I don't think that they're going to come out the gate and be like, hey, I've been fantasizing about you, but it definitely feels like this person could, like, come into your life. They could come into your life starting out as a very, like, platonic or friendly basis. But then if the two of you kind of, like, kick it off, if the two of you get along real well, they might open up about how they've been thinking about you a lot. They actually do see you as a wish fulfillment, though. And I wonder if, like, it's more than just spicy things when it comes to this person, because they have some depth to them. All right, so now I'm going to break out the oracle and see if there's any oracle messages to add to this spicy reading. Please and thank you, Spirit. Do we have any additional messages for this spicy reading for the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Any other ones want to come out for the oracle? For the collective? Okay, so we got a few here. All right, so the first one that came out is Moss Agate, and this represents positivity and change. If so, okay, my voice cracked weird, but if you haven't really been super active and you want to be more active in a spicy way, there could be some sort of positive experience on the horizon for you if you wish to explore that. And if you've been going through a period of, like, celibacy, that could be changing for you. It seems like if you've been in a inactive sort of mode for a while and you've been wanting something more, that could definitely be on the horizon for you here. The other cards that came out. The other cards that came out are Harvest. That represents determination and hard work. Oh. Oh my. So you may be attracting a partner that is very determined and they're not afraid of putting in that hard work, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. You might actually be attracting this. If this is something you want to manifest, a really good spicy partner, that literally could be on the horizon for you. I'm just saying. And then the other card that came out is the Preserve card. This represents security, forethought, and thrift. Security. I feel like if you want somebody that you can trust in a spicy way, I feel like you're going to be attracting somebody very reliable and honest and true. The forethought definitely gives me this feeling of this isn't just somebody that wants a quick in and out sort of thing. This is somebody that may be thinking about long term with you. The thrift part of the Preserve card, I feel like that's almost like indicating that something may be a better deal than you think it is, or may surprise you with it, like how, I don't even know how to like word this, but it's like you may think that someone is a certain way, but then they surprise you completely in the best kind of way, is what I'm getting with that. It definitely makes me think that maybe you think somebody is more shallow than they actually are. Or maybe you think that they just want one thing, but they may actually want something way deeper with you. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Rosemary card. And this represents remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. Oh my. So you actually might be not just attracting a spicy connection, but like a whole darn relationship. If that is something that you wish to have, that's definitely in the cards here for you. Remembrance. So it's somebody maybe that you remember fondly, if you know this person, or maybe if they come into your life as a new person, They may remind you of somebody that you have deep, not deep feelings for, but like just happy memories of. The loyalty and faithfulness, though, those two really stick out to me. This is somebody that's going to be completely focused on you. They're going to be loyal, they're going to be faithful, if that is what you want. That's definitely here for you. So that's pretty cool, especially if that's what you're trying to manifest, because that seems like your manifestation is right around the corner. So that is the reading. I really hope you enjoyed this. And if it resonated at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you, what do I usually say? If you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.